Hi, I'm Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy Segment Show. Also today in this segment, I'm at the Verde Canyon Railroad in Clarkdale, Arizona. The Verde Canyon Railroad is located on 300 North Broadway in Clarkdale, Arizona. The line was built to connect Clarkdale to the mines in Jerome to the railroad tracks passing through Drake, Arizona. Originally, this line was owned by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad and part of a north-south branch line linking a copper smelter. Along the line, we see a lot of scenery through the canyon, including Goldtooth Mine, Elephant Rock, and even docents of the valley on the train may even point out what is on the route and what's on the rocks there is to see. This is also known to be the longest-running nature show in the state, as you get a view of the ever-changing panorama of high desert landscapes. The United Verde and Pacific Railway was a 36-inch narrow-gauge railroad that operated starting in 1895 in what became Yavapai County in the state of Arizona. The first track laid into Jerome was that railroad just near Chino Valley. It was a 26-mile stretch of narrow-gauge rails. William Clark built the 26-mile line to link his copper mine and smelter in Jerome to an existing branch of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. The United Verde and Pacific used steam locomotives to haul trains on the line. When William Clark moved the surface plant in Jerome and built a smelter and company town, Clarkdale, in the Verde Valley below Jerome, and financed a construction of 3 new standard gauge railroads, the Verde Tunnel and Smelter Line and Hopewell Haulage Tunnel was used to carry ore to Clarkdale, which was his namesake town, and the line the train travels over linked Clarkdale to the railroad in Drake. In 1911, the Verde Valley Railway was chartered as a non-operating subsidiary of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. In 1912, the construction of the line began and was complete in 1 year. The line stretched from Cedar Glade, just west of Drake, to Clarkdale. The line was operated by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe. By 1919, the Verde Tunnel and Smelter Line was extended to Jerome, and the United Verde and Pacific became completely obsolete. Workers had to blast their way through the tunnel from solid rock while constructing the tunnel. The last train left the station in May 1920 and the United Verde and Pacific Railway discontinued. Eventually, William Clark replaced the line with 3 4-foot 8.5-inch standard gauge rail lines after building a new smelter and company town in Clarkdale. 38 miles of the line was constructed from Clarkdale to Drake, and it took 700 men using picks, shovels, and dynamite. In late 1942, the Verde Valley was conveyed to the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe by deed. As well as that, the 175-foot tall trestle, the tallest bridge on the route, which crosses over Sob Canyon, was built above the canyon. That area is where you could capture some pictures and is a magnificent view from on board the train. Also, between Perkinsville and Drake, the line meets up with the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Phoenix subdivision. It was constructed by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad in 1912. This allowed cattle to be loaded from the ranch, and they no longer needed to make risky cattle drives to market. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe and Burlington Northern Railroad merged to become the said railroad in 1995. The railroad operated and owned 38 miles of branch line. The line follows the Verde River and crosses bridges and trestles and passes through a 680-foot long curved tunnel. Then in 1988, the line was then operated by the Arizona Central Railroad, who purchased a portion of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe line and resumes freight service over the line. In 1990, the Verde Canyon Railroad began operating an excursion train over the line between Clarkdale, Arizona and Perkinsville, Arizona. Today, the tours train runs 40 miles, 2 hours one way from Clarkdale to Perkinsville and 2 hours back. The last bridge on the route is a narrow bridge, which is the Iron Bridge, and anyone in the open-air cars close to the sides of the cars must watch out for the bridge to avoid getting their heads bumped or letting any other body parts hit it. After the bridge, we then pull into Perkinsville. Marion Alexander Perkins was born in 1848 near Coffeyville, Mississippi, and in 1864 he married Ann York. They headed west and ranched in Texas near the Davis Mountains before it got too crowded for them. They and their 3 sons, Rob, Ben, and Nick, and their 3 daughters, Annie, Valeria, and Franny, got into a small wagon train with a few other friends and headed for Arizona. Their journey began on July 5th, 1899, and after many hardships, wound up on November 1st, 1900, and the family then ranched at Perkinsville. This is how the town Perkinsville got the name. Then the end of the route is the Perkinsville Depot. The depot in Perkinsville is vacant and has been untouched for years, and the platform is also rotting away. As well as that, you can also see what remains of the water tower that was used to fill water into steam locomotives' boilers. Just the supports remain. As well as that, on the other side of the tracks shows an entry to the lime mine. Also, a movie was filmed at Perkinsville called How the West Won. Also, at Perkinsville is where you could catch a glimpse of the eagle that flies as the locomotives are prepared to go to the other end of the train for the return journey to Clarkdale as well.